So let's make a little divider, I guess you'd call it, to go inside our box. And the best way, I think, is to just measure what your width is and mark it, and then determine what your depth is and mark it. And then you can make it flush to the top or down a ways. You know, that's really a personal choice. This is one that I pre-made, and it's real tight, and it's a little tighter now since I put the papers in, so it was super tight. But let's go ahead and I'll show you what I use. This is just balsa wood. I get it at a local arts and crafts store. I got this at Michael's, and it comes in a 3-foot length, 36-inch length, and it's 3 inches wide, and it's 3/16 inches deep, and then there's the millimeters for those on millimeters. But this stuff is great, and I wanted to try and pick something out that you could use with an X-Acto blade and not have to get a saw or use a saw. So I'm just taking the markings that I used, that I measured, and I'm going to stand up, and I'm using it on a cutting, like a cutting board, and a straight edge, and I'm pressing down very hard, and I just go over this a couple of times, and it goes through pretty easily. And this is a very sharp X-Acto blade. It's fairly new. Just be very careful. Go slow. Don't cut anything, meaning your body. And you can keep going, or you can actually stop there, and then I just marked it on each end, and then you can turn it over like that, and then go end to end again, like there to there, and go from the other side either, or you can just keep going through on the same side. But I thought this would be a nice material because it's plentiful, it's easy to use, and it's inexpensive. There we go. That's the first cut, and the second cut is right along that edge. So that shows you how to do it. I don't think I need to demo this again, but this is with the grain. Look how it goes through right away with the grain. The other was against the grain. So that gives you a piece, and then on both your metal box and if you do a metal box, and then this wood one, you can paint it up however you like. This has a little bit of a bow on it. I'm going to go ahead and just take some coarse sandpaper and just go back and forth and kind of straighten out that side a little bit. And same here, it's bowing just a tiny bit. And let's see how it fits. Oh yeah, that's perfect. So it's still snug, but it's not pulling the paper away. Go back and glue that again. And then this is a personal choice too, since you've already got this baby in. Now, what if this music box breaks? I can't imagine that it will, but if it does, because we left this open, you can just take the bolts out, and we're not cementing anything in. You can just take the bolts out and pop a new movement in. So that's kind of why I designed it that way. So I might want all kinds of area for the trinkets that might go in there. So I think I'll go ahead and probably put it about there. So what's the best way to attach that? Well, actually, I think clear caulking is probably going to be the best. I think that if I put some clear caulking on each end and then along the bottom, it will stay upright and it will never move. So let's do that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and figure out where we want this baby. I took it out, and I think what I'll do to expedite it when I put it in is make sure it's nice and square. I'll go ahead and I'll just kind of put a line inside there as to where I want it. And then if you want to be real exact about it, you could actually measure at both ends. Get your bar out of the way there. So it's about 2 3/8 and 2 3/8 on this side. So I'm just taking a pencil and I'm going to mark inside both ends. Inside there. Then let's go ahead and move it all over the... And I think it's going to be easier to put the caulking right on here. This happens to be clear caulking. I took the lid off. I'm going to take my X-Acto blade. I'm going to cut a little notch. It's brand new, so I'm going to cut a little notch on it. And then you can decide which side you want up. I think I like that side down. So I'm just going to put a little bead. Now I know it looks white, but it actually dries clear. I like caulking because it'll stay in place and it has a little flexibility to it. And I have time to clean it up. Wipe the excess off here. It's going to be pretty snug. Then inside, get the stuff off my fingers. I'll just kind of tilt it a little bit. And then put it in place. I can't really see my mark, so I'm going to I see it on one side, not the other, so let's take a look. 2 3/8, almost 2 3/8. That's pretty good. Move it over a little bit. It's a little less than that. Now let's take a little piece of paper towel and just take off the excess caulk. You could use your finger too, on the inside and the outside. There we go. Now that's not going to move. That's going to stay right there. That looks really super good. Now I have all this room to make it a little jewelry box or whatever I want, and I like the painted surface a lot. I don't think I'm going to change that. You could go ahead and line the entire bottom with fabric, but you'd have to glue this on top. You could go ahead and put more paper over here, or you'd have to put paper on this first. It'd be a little tougher getting back there with paper. So just think about that when you're making this. So there's just so many options you could do. You could put even make a beautiful pillow. That would be gorgeous. Make a nice little kind of satiny pillow to put in there, or muslin or something like that. And I might do that down the road, is put a a muslin and found object and lace pillow in there. That'd be cool. But hey, while I have this this caulking out, let's go ahead and go back to our little piece, and I'm going to turn it upright, and I'm going to go ahead and add caulking to these guys and put it in place. And that's going to be quite a bit, but I have quite a bit of room around that for that to spread out, so maybe it won't show. Then I just need to decide if I want one side up over the other, and I don't really care. So let me get this in place. That's fun. And I'm pressing. Let's get it straight. Move it up just a bit. There, I like it right about there. And then I'm going to leave that in place and let it dry along with the this little piece. I don't think this is going anywhere. This is the harder one. So I'll put a weight of some sort on here to try and leave it like that. And we'll just let that dry. But that shouldn't move after it's cemented down, she said. We'll find out.